A 63-year-old woman flew from Chicago to Orlando last spring. She paid full price for her ticket, checked a bag for $35, sat in a middle seat for 3 hours, and ate a $5 granola bar she bought at the gate. What she didn't know, she qualified for a free bag check, a better seat at no charge, priority boarding, and a meal that would have come off the cart before anyone else on that plane. Every single one of those things was already built into the ticket she bought. Airlines just never told her. Today we fix that. Here are 15 free flight upgrades that travelers over 60 are leaving on the table every single flight. Upgrade number 15, the Gate Check Shoulder Saver. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2024. Planes are fuller than they have been since 1980. You've made it through security. You've found your gate. And now a gate agent is on the microphone announcing that overhead bins are full and they need volunteers to check carry-on bags, free of charge. Tagged to your final destination. Most passengers groan when they hear this. You should be quietly raising your hand. Here's what's actually happening in that moment. The airline needs your bag off the plane. They are offering to take it, handle it, load it, and deliver it to baggage claim at your destination for nothing. No $35 fee, no $45 fee, no fighting a rolling suitcase into an overhead bin while 12 people behind you sigh loudly. And here's the part I want you to remember. You don't have to wait for the announcement. Walk up to the gate agent before boarding starts and say, "I'd like to gate check my carry-on if bins are running low." On a full flight, they will almost always say yes. They tag it right there. You walk onto the plane empty-handed. Your bag meets you at the jet bridge or baggage claim depending on the route. I gate check by choice now on busy flights. My shoulders have never forgiven me for the years I didn't. One rule: before you hand it over, move your medications, your valuables, and anything you'll need during the flight into your personal item. Everything else can go. This upgrade costs you nothing and saves you more than you think. Upgrade number 14, the escort pass nobody mentions. This one surprises people every single time I bring it up. Your son, your daughter, your neighbor who drove you to the airport, none of them need a plane ticket to walk you to your gate. Most major U.S. airlines will print a companion escort pass right at the staffed check-in counter. Your person carries your bag, walks beside you, and waits until you board. A daughter assumed for 20 years she had to say goodbye at the security line. One day she asked. The agent printed the pass in under 2 minutes. She's asked every single time since. Here's what you do. Go to the staffed counter, not the kiosk. Bring your companion's government-issued ID and arrive 30 minutes early. Magic phrase. I'd like to request an escort pass so my daughter can walk me to the gate. That's the whole script. Nobody says goodbye at security ever again. Upgrade number 13, the special meal that boards first. Most passengers never open this page. I mean that literally. There is an entire section buried inside Manage My Booking on international flights where you can order a free special meal. Low sodium, diabetic friendly, gluten-free, heart healthy, ordered in advance, delivered to your seat. And here's the part that nobody tells you. Special meals come off the cart first. You eat 20 minutes before the passenger in the seat next to you even sees a tray. For those of us managing blood pressure or blood sugar, this isn't just a comfort upgrade, it's a health decision. The difference between landing well and landing foggy can be what you ate at 35,000 feet. Here's how it works. Log into your booking at least 24 hours before departure. Look for special meal requests or dietary preferences under your passenger details. Select the option that fits your needs. It costs absolutely nothing. Call the airline directly if the website won't show you the options. Some booking systems bury it deeper than they should. One insider tip: reconfirm at the gate. Meals occasionally fall off the load sheet, and you want to know before you're in the air, not after the cart has passed you twice. Order the right meal for your health. Eat before everyone else. No extra charge. I genuinely don't understand why more people don't do this. Upgrade number 12. The senior fare hidden in plain sight. Here is something airlines will not put in a banner ad. Senior fares still exist. They did not die, they just went quiet. On United's website, there is a passenger type menu most people never touch. Select 65 plus and senior fares appear on routes that still carry them. Other carriers keep the codes alive in their reservation systems but pulled them off their websites entirely. The only way to access them now is to call. A retired teacher from Boston booked a flight to Miami through a comparison site for $340. 2 days later, she called the airline directly, mentioned she was 67, and got the same seat for $287. One phone call, $53 back in her pocket. Comparison sites don't know your age. The senior code sits in the system waiting for someone to ask. 5 minutes before you book. That's the entire investment. Upgrade number 11, free wheelchair assistance, even if you walk just fine. This is the one airlines really hope stays quiet, and I understand why. Every wheelchair request costs them staffing, coordination, and logistics, so they don't advertise it. They let you find it yourself. Most people never do. Here is what the airline industry does not tell you. Wheelchair assistance is not reserved for passengers who cannot walk. If you are 65 or older and you have any mobility consideration at all, tired legs after a long travel day, heavy bags, a terminal the size of a small city, joints that have been working hard for 6 decades, you qualify for a completely free wheelchair assistance. It is federally mandated. They cannot say no. You get a personal escort through security, often a shorter line, priority boarding before general passengers, transportation directly to your gate, help with carry-on bags, assistance to your seat. If you can walk but distances are the issue, request ambulatory assistance specifically. That tells them you're mobile but need support for longer stretches. Here's something most people miss. You can request this for just one direction of your trip. Flying out but feeling energetic for the return? Only ask for help outbound. Completely your choice. Nobody tracks it. Nobody judges it. Request it when you book. Call to confirm 48 hours before your flight. Ask again at check-in, and please tip your wheelchair attendant. The service is free. Their time is not. Upgrade number 10. Pre-boarding with one sentence. I spent longer than I want to admit thinking pre-boarding required paperwork, a doctor's note, a stamped form from somewhere, some kind of official documentation proving my knees were not what they were in 1992. It requires a sentence. Under federal rules, any passenger who needs additional time or assistance boarding can self-identify at the gate and board before general boarding begins. No diagnosis required, no documentation, no explaining your medical history to a stranger at a podium. You tell the gate agent you need extra time. That's the process. Your travel companion pre-boards with you at no extra charge, even on the cheapest fare you could find. The reason airlines don't announce this is simple. Pre-boarding slows the process. It requires coordination. They would rather you find your own way down the jet bridge with Group C while someone in Group B cuts in front of you. That is not what the law says. The law says you board first. Here's what you do. Approach the gate agent before boarding starts. Not during the chaos when everyone's standing up. Before. Look them in the eye and say, I need a little extra time to board. I'd like to pre-board, please. That's the magic phrase. That's all of it. You're on the plane first. Your bag goes in the overhead bin without a fight. You settle in while everyone else is still arguing about who's in Zone 2. Upgrade number 9. The seat the law reserves for you. This one is sitting in federal regulation, and almost nobody knows it's there. If you cannot lower yourself over a fixed armrest into a middle seat, the airline must seat you in an aisle seat with a movable armrest. If you have a leg that doesn't bend the way it used to, you are entitled to greater legroom. If you travel with a companion who assists you, that companion must be seated beside you at no extra charge. Even on the cheapest economy ticket on the plane, the airline cannot sell that accommodation back to you as a preferred seat upgrade fee. It is not a product. It is a requirement. Call the airline's accessibility desk at least 48 hours before your flight. You do not need to give a diagnosis. You describe the need. I can't lower into a middle seat is enough. They arrange the seating before you ever reach the airport. No gate agent negotiation required. No showing up and hoping. For those of us with years of wear on hips and knees, this is the single most comfortable phone call in air travel, and it costs nothing except the time it takes to make it. Upgrade number 8. The 30-minute upgrade window. Right before boarding begins, something happens behind the gate counter that most passengers never see. The seating chart shifts one final time. Last-minute cancellations come through. Connecting passengers miss their flights. Seats in premium cabin sections that were sold an hour ago suddenly sit empty. Gate agents know exactly which seats just opened up, and in that window between system closure and boarding call, they have discretion to move passengers. Here's who gets moved, not the person who demanded an upgrade 45 minutes ago and made a scene. The calm, polite traveler who walks up 20 to 30 minutes before boarding and says, "I'm a senior traveler. Are there any seat upgrades or extra legroom seats available? I have a long flight, and an aisle seat would really help." That's it. That's the approach. You're not demanding anything. You're asking at the right moment in the right tone with a legitimate reason. A 68-year-old retiree tried this once on a whim. She was in row 37. The agent typed for 10 seconds and moved her to row 12 with extra legroom. No charge. She told me she almost didn't ask because she figured the answer would be no. The worst they can say is no. Show up at the gate early, wait for the window, ask politely, and accept a no gracefully because the crew remembers courtesy for the rest of the flight. Upgrade number 7. Free medical equipment on every flight. Airlines cannot charge baggage fees for medically necessary equipment. Full stop. CPAP machines, portable oxygen concentrators, insulin coolers, medication cooling bags, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, all of it flies free. None of it counts toward your baggage allowance. This is not a policy that varies by airline. This is the rule. A 70-year-old diabetic brought his insulin cooler as his personal item and carried his CPAP as a carry-on. At the gate, an agent told him his bags were oversized and tried to charge him $85. He said 5 words. "These are medically necessary items." The agent checked the system, waved him through. 0 fees. Know those 5 words. Say them calmly. Don't apologize for them. Since 2025, TSA requires proof of prescription for medications exceeding a 10-day supply. That means original pharmacy labels or a printed letter from your doctor listing your prescriptions and their contact information. Keep medications in original containers where possible. Declare them at the checkpoint before screening begins. The magic phrase for security: "I'm traveling with prescription medications and I'd like to declare them before screening." Take photos of your prescription labels before you leave home. Digital proof has saved more than one traveler from a 2-hour delay at the checkpoint. Upgrade number 6, the seat move after the door closes. The seat map on your phone freezes at boarding. The crew's view of the cabin does not. Once that door closes, the people who actually know which seats stayed empty are the flight attendants, not the app, not the gate agent who has already left. The crew walking the aisle. No-shows happen on nearly every flight, and a quiet, polite ask after boarding finishes succeeds far more often than most travelers over 60 expect. Wait until boarding is completely done. The door is closed, the final announcements have been made, and the cabin has settled. Then flag down a flight attendant and say something like, "I have a bad knee, and I noticed the aisle seat in row 8 might be open. Would it be possible to move?" You're not demanding. You're asking with a reason. The passengers who argue about it get nothing. The ones who ask kindly sometimes get moved to a seat they couldn't have paid for online. Empty seats are luck. The ask is free. The timing is everything. Upgrade number 5. Free lounge access during delays. 200 feet from where That 73-year-old sat on an uncomfortable terminal bench for 8 hours during a delay in Chicago. There was a quiet lounge with padded chairs, free food, working Wi-Fi, and clean bathrooms. She had no idea. Nobody told her. She never asked. Gate agents have the authority to issue complimentary lounge passes during irregular operations, significant delays, long connection gaps caused by the airline. They don't offer these passes unprompted, but they can hand them out when someone asks the right way. During a delay of 5 hours or more, approach the gate agent calmly, mention your age, explain your situation without drama. Then say, I'm a senior traveler with a long wait ahead. Is there any way to access a lounge to rest comfortably? A retired teacher tried exactly this during a 6-hour delay. The agent handed her a day pass worth $59, free because she asked, also worth checking. Some credit cards, including certain Visa and MasterCard products, offer automatic lounge access when registered flights experience qualifying delays. Open your card's travel benefits page before your next trip. The access may already be sitting there waiting for you to use it. Upgrade number 4. The Delay Care Package Airlines Hide. When your flight is delayed 3 or more hours due to something within the airline's control, crew issues, maintenance problems, scheduling failures, every major U.S. carrier has committed in writing to provide meal vouchers and hotel accommodations for overnight situations. Nobody hands you this. You ask for it. A retired couple's flight from Phoenix to Boston was delayed 5 hours due to a mechanical issue. They sat at the gate for the entire time. Nobody offered them anything. They spent $40 on airport food and paid $180 for a hotel when the flight was eventually canceled. They were entitled to all of it from the airline. They just didn't know to ask. Since late 2024, federal rules also require automatic cash refunds, not vouchers, when your flight is canceled or significantly changed and you choose not to rebook. Not travel credit, cash. Here's your move. When a delay hits, walk to the airline counter. Stay calm. Stay firm. Say, this was a controllable delay. I'd like the meal voucher and hotel accommodation your airline committed to on the Department of Transportation dashboard. That phrase, controllable delay, is the trigger. It signals you know your rights. The tone of the conversation shifts the moment you say it. Keep receipts. Document everything. And if the agent at the desk refuses, ask for a supervisor, which brings us perfectly to upgrade number 2. But first, upgrade number 3, the baggage fee loophole. Airlines make billions on baggage fees every year. Several groups of senior travelers have multiple ways to avoid them that most people never discover. Military veterans. If you are a senior and a veteran, most major airlines waive baggage fees entirely. You need to add your veteran status to your frequent flyer profile or mention it when you book. Do not assume they see it. Tell them. Medical travelers. Any medical device flies free and does not count toward your baggage limit. We covered this in Upgrade 7, but it applies to checked bags too. CPAP machines, portable oxygen concentrators, medication cooling bags, mobility aids, all of it, free, every time. Senior baggage policies. Several international carriers grant extra allowances for passengers over 60 or 65. Air India gives seniors over 60 an additional 10 kilograms on international flights. It is written into their policy. They just don't remind you at check-in. Before your next flight, search the airline's website for senior baggage policy. Then call and ask directly, do you offer additional baggage allowance for passengers over 60? Even when no official policy exists, asking at check-in has saved travelers between $50 and $100 on a single trip. Gate agents have discretion. Use it. Upgrade number 2. The Complaint Resolution Official. Every U.S. airline is required to have a complaint resolution official available at every airport they serve, every hour they operate. This person is trained and authorized to settle disability and assistance disputes on the spot, in person or by phone, within minutes. Most gate agents go their entire career hearing this request only a handful of times, which tells you something important. Most travelers don't know this position exists. Pre-boarding denied, wheelchair assistance unavailable despite your request, seating accommodation refused after you described your need. You don't argue with the gate agent. You don't escalate your voice. You say one sentence. I'd like to speak with your complaint resolution official, please. That's a protocol, not a complaint. The moment you say it, the airline is required to produce this person or connect you by phone. Their entire job is making the airline follow federal law. On the spot. Use this when a legal accommodation is denied, not for fair disputes or general frustrations. Stay calm when you say it. The phrase does the work. You don't have to. Upgrade number 1. The master phrase that unlocks everything. We've covered 15 upgrades, and if you've been taking notes, you've noticed something. The travelers who get these things are not the ones who demand, argue, or arrive at the gate frustrated and loud. They are the ones who ask clearly, calmly, and early. There is one sentence that opens the door to nearly every single perk on this list. One sentence that signals to airline staff exactly who you are and what you need, without entitlement, without aggression, and without a fight. Here it is. Hi, I'm 68 and traveling today. I wanted to check what accommodations might be available for senior passengers with any mobility or comfort considerations. That's it. That single sentence opens the conversation for wheelchair assistance, priority boarding, seat accommodations, gate check offers, and customer service solutions all at once. It is specific. It is polite. It mentions your age and uses the words accommodations and considerations, which are the language airline staff are trained to respond to. Airline staff deal with difficult passengers every single day of their working lives. A senior traveler who is polite, informed, and calm gets treated differently than someone who walks up demanding things, not because it's fair, because it's human. You don't have to fight for any of this. These benefits exist specifically for you. The airline is simply waiting to see if you know to ask. Here's your complete action plan before your next flight. Here's your complete action plan before your next flight. When you book, request wheelchair or ambulatory assistance, order your special meal on international flights, and add veteran status to your frequent flyer profile. 24 to 48 hours out, call the airline about senior fares and confirm any seating accommodations you requested. At check-in, mention your age and ask about senior accommodations. At the gate, request an escort pass for your companion. Ask about pre-boarding and approach the agent 30 minutes before boarding about available seat upgrades. Once the door closes, ask the crew quietly about any open seats. During delays, go straight to the counter, use the word controllable, and ask for meal vouchers, hotel accommodations, and lounge access. If anything you're legally entitled to gets refused, ask for the complaint resolution official. Watch how fast the conversation changes. You followed every rule your whole life. These are the rules that were written for you. Go claim them. Which of these 15 surprised you most? Drop it in the comments.